Everybody, David here. This is a quick look at the Saurian Race from TitansGrave, Ashes of Valkana, and this is an additional race that is not in the core Fantasy Age book. Now, in the Fantasy Age core rulebook, there are 6 races. There is the Dwarf, the Elf, the Gnome, the Halfling, the Human, and the Orc. So whenever you play the Ashes of Valkana setting, the TitansGrave setting, then you can also add in the Saurian as well. Now, sort of like a little extra note, I would actually say that you could take the Saurian and implement it back into a fantasy setting also. There are lots of different, lizardmen. Of course, it would be in a more of a traditional type of fantasy setting, maybe a little bit more difficult for Saurian to get around. But for TitansGrave, the Saurian is the only extra or additional race that has been added to that campaign setting. So the Saurian, as you can see by the art here, is a very intelligent lizard folk, which actually they had the most dominant empire throughout Valkana until the Cataclysm happened, and then it kind of went downhill. And you can read the this little bit of history about the Saurian here. They had the dwarves and the orcs enslaved, and then the orcs won a rebellion, broke away, and it just seemed to go downhill ever since. But it seems like now that they are in the Tesmetra lands living in, it seems like they're actually living amongst others, even though the Saurian does have they have a little bit harder time than some of the other races. Now, this also has some examples. There's some female name examples, male name examples, and clan names. So if you're kind of on the fence about what to name your Saurian if you're going to play one, here's some examples for you. Now, just like TitansGrave, Ashes of Valkana, Fantasy Core setting, this is just like other main games like tabletop games like D&D, Pathfinder. When you play a race, you're going to get a lot of different racial bonuses, and Fantasy Core is no different. But there is sort of like a twist, and I do like what Chris Pramus has done with not only Dragon Age but the Fantasy Core and now TitansGrave. So whenever you do play a Saurian, you're going to get a multitude of bonuses. The first bonus you're going to get is +1 strength, so you'll just add this on to whatever, depending on if you took the point by or if you actually rolled your stats. So you get an additional strength. Now you'll get to also choose one of the following ability focuses, which will be intelligence, scientific lore, or willpower, self-discipline. Now, if you have not read the core book, if you haven't played Dragon Age before, if you don't know what an ability focus is, basically what an ability focus is it's a +2 bonus to a specific check. And for instance, the 2 that you get to choose from, scientific lore, which is from intelligence, or self-discipline, willpower. When you choose one of those, you'll do your 3d6 plus the intelligence, say for scientific lore, and then you would add a +2 bonus. You can also take your lore. Your focus bonus is higher than 2, but there are additional rules in the core book that I don't discuss here, but this is just basically going over the race. So once you have your, basically it's sort of like a proficiency in other games, say like a Pathfinder, or maybe a Dungeons & Dragons, or even maybe like a Savage Worlds. Now, each race in the Fantasy Core mechanics and rule set, they all have different starting speeds, basically. And for the Saurian, the base is equal to 10 plus the dexterity, and then also, much like a lot of other games, there are armor penalties as well. For the heavier armor that you have, the slower that you're going to be able to run. And also, you get to speak and read Saurian and the Common Tongue. Now, the one cool thing that I had mentioned, how the races and the Fantasy Core rules work, is you get to add a couple extra things. And as you can see here, here's a chart called the Saurian Benefits. And every single one of these races in Fantasy Core has it. The six core races in the core book, they have these same benefit charts. Also, if you've played Dragon Age, you'll notice that all of the backgrounds there's a multitude, probably 20 or 30 different racial backgrounds there in that game. they all have these same charts. So the Saurian is no different from TitansGrave, which is really nice. It's basically kept in check as all the other games. So what you're going to do on this Saurian Benefits table, you're going to roll a 2d6 twice. Or maybe if you don't want to roll, maybe you can get with your dungeon master. Maybe he and she can maybe strike a deal, and you can maybe choose 2 that you want to. But traditionally, you would roll a 2d6, and you're going to add the dice together. And then if you get the same result twice, then you'll just go ahead and re-roll until you get something different. So on this chart here, you can get a +1 willpower bonus. You can get a multitude of different focus ability stat increase. Well, the focus ability increases, which are basically a +2 proficiency. Or you can get maybe an intelligence bonus or constitution bonus. So that's it, everybody. That is the Saurian. And that is from TitansGrave, The Ashes of Valkana. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Also, please like and follow the YouTube channel. And until next time, I'll see you